I was 34 the first time I admitted out loud that my relationship was killing me. Not physically, though the shouting, the slammed doors, the sleepless nights sometimes made me wonder how much my body could take, but slowly, invisibly, in ways that didn't leave bruises yet cut just as deep. Her name was Melissa. We met when I was 26, and at the beginning, she was electric. The kind of woman who could light up a room, who made you feel like the only person in the world when she turned her gaze on you. I fell fast, hard, recklessly. Friends said she seemed intense. I thought intensity meant passion. The first year was a blur of long nights, spontaneous trips, and plans for a future that felt like it was already waiting for us. She told me she'd never loved anyone like me. I believed her. I wanted to believe her. But somewhere between year 2 and year 3, the tone shifted. Passion became possession. Love became control. At first, it was little things, her checking my phone, teasing me about female coworkers, complaining when I spent time with friends. I brushed it off as jealousy, even flattered by it. She just cares, I told myself. But it grew sharper. Accusations when I came home late from work. Silent treatments that lasted days. Apologies that sounded more like ultimatums: if you loved me, you wouldn't make me feel this way. I started editing myself, cutting conversations short, avoiding eye contact with waitresses, erasing old contacts from my phone. Anything to keep the peace. By the time I was 30, I barely recognized myself. I'd lost touch with friends, distanced from family, poured all my energy into keeping Melissa happy. But happiness was a moving target. No matter how much I gave, it was never enough. The worst fights always started small. A comment about the dishes, a forgotten text, an unanswered call. Her anger would flare like gasoline on a spark. Yelling, name-calling, accusations that twisted reality until I doubted my own memory. I'd try to defend myself, then cave, then apologize for things I hadn't done just to stop the storm. One night, after she threw a glass against the wall because I hadn't noticed her new haircut, I slept in my car. Not because I was afraid she'd hurt me, but because I couldn't stand the air in that apartment any longer. Sitting there in the driver's seat, staring at the cracked windshield, I thought, how did I get here? And yet, I stayed. For years, I stayed. Because walking away felt like failure. Because I'd invested so much. Because she always promised to change, and for a week or two, things would be good again, better than good, almost like the beginning. Those weeks kept me hooked, convinced me the nightmare was temporary. The breaking point came when my sister had her first child. She invited me to the hospital, and I almost didn't go. Melissa was furious I'd leave her alone on a Saturday. We screamed at each other until I walked out anyway, heart pounding, guilt gnawing at me. But then I held my newborn niece. Her tiny fingers curled around mine, and something shifted. I thought about the life she was just beginning. I thought about what kind of example I'd be if I stayed in a relationship that drained me dry. For the first time, I asked myself not, what if I leave? But, what if I don't? The next morning, I packed a bag. Just one: clothes, toiletries, essentials. Melissa cried, screamed, begged, threatened. She told me I was throwing away the best thing that had ever happened to me. Maybe she believed it. For years, I had too. But I walked out the door anyway. Leaving wasn't freedom, it was survival. At first, I slept on my brother's couch. I jumped every time my phone buzzed. Melissa flooded my inbox with messages that swung between "I love you," "come back and you'll regret this," "you'll die alone." I blocked her, unblocked her, blocked her again. Healing is messy. Therapy helped. Slowly, painfully, I untangled the knots inside me. I learned the term gaslighting and realized how many years I'd lived inside it. I admitted how much of myself I'd lost. How much I'd given up to keep a peace that never existed. Rebuilding wasn't quick. I was lonely, angry, ashamed. But piece by piece, I stitched a life back together. I reconnected with old friends, awkward at first, then easier. I started running, not for fitness but to burn off the memories that clung like smoke. I took small trips by myself, relearning how to enjoy my own company. And then, a year later, I met Anna. Not in a dramatic way, just at a bookstore, reaching for the same novel. We started talking. She was kind, grounded, steady in a way that felt foreign after years of chaos. At first, I didn't trust it. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. But it never did. With Anna, there were no explosions, no games. Just honesty, laughter, patience. She never made me feel small. She never made me question reality. For the first time in years, I could breathe without checking the air. Now I'm 38. Anna and I live together in a small house with peeling paint but a garden she loves. I'm close to my family again. My niece runs to me shouting, "Uncle," every time I visit. Sometimes I still dream of Melissa, her anger, her tears, the way she could twist love into a weapon. But when I wake up, I turn and see Anna sleeping beside me, peaceful, steady, real. And I remind myself, I walked out the door that saved me. Leaving didn't ruin me. It gave me back my life. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: love shouldn't feel like survival. Love should feel like coming home.